Okay. This is Brett Bonetti. Massive news. The WWE is returning to Australia, finally. And the best part, they're coming to Perth for WWE Elimination Chamber. Very exciting indeed. The date to put in your calendar is Saturday, February 24 at the award-winning Optus Stadium. So many WWE fans in Perth, including myself, been watching it for years, are very excited. Joining me now to break it all down is WWE superstar and Australia's own Mr. Nice Guy, Bronson Reed. Bronson, thank you very much for your time.
No, thanks for having me. I'm super excited. I cannot wait for February to be there in Perth.
Yeah, again, we're all excited. WWE coming to Perth, and Perth fans are very excited, including myself. This is the first time since 2016 that that WWE has been in Perth in any sort of event. But this is massive because the Elimination Chamber, this is nothing like Australia's ever seen before.
Yeah, nothing like Australia's ever seen. I grew up, dreaming of having a premium live event like this coming to Australia. And we've had many live events, which is great, but nothing on this magnitude. This is WrestleMania season stuff. We have Royal Rumble, then Elimination Chamber in Perth, then WrestleMania. So it's crazy times.
Yeah, absolutely huge. I've been to every single WWE live event in Perth, but this one it obviously tops it all with Elimination Chamber. Now, tell me, Bronson, have you actually, obviously being Australian, have you ever seen Optus Stadium before?
No, so that's the thing. I've never actually stepped foot in Optus Stadium. I've obviously seen it now from many pictures and then and on TV and things like that. So I'm excited to actually be there and be a part of it. And I can imagine that it's going to be very loud in there, which I'm excited for.
Well, Optus Stadium, again, I'm not saying it because I'm here. I mean, I've seen all the stadiums around Australia, but it's not just one of the best stadiums in Australia, but in the world. So you're in for a treat there. But again, I think that it's going to break all records. I think that's going to break the stadium record for attendance and gate. I mean, that must excite you, walking out to a crowd like that in front of your home crowd as well.
Yeah, very much. WWE these past couple of years has been breaking records everywhere that we go. We've had a lot of expansion going into other countries, into other markets, and I'm super happy that we're actually going to be in my home now of Australia. And I actually get to perform as a WWE superstar in front of people. I'll have family there. I have people that I know in Perth. I have a lot of friends in Perth. So it's going to be pretty surreal.
It's great to see you doing so well in the WWE, but also your fellow Australians like Rhea Ripley, obviously, very well, and Grayson Waller. Yep. That must give you confidence of what you're doing as well.
Yeah, it does. I worked for a long time, the better part of a decade, trying to build the local Australian wrestling scene to where we're seen by the rest of the world as, we're good. We can compete with anyone else. And to have myself, Rhea Ripley, Grayson Waller on a big stage in WWE gives a lot of representation for Australia and especially the fans watching at home to actually see someone like them get up there and do it.
I think my prediction is I think you're going to get a massive cheer when you walk out, but are you going to say or do something to get the crowd to turn against you?
I mean, it's hard, when you look at me, I'm a bad guy when I go through those curtains. That's what I am, especially here in the United States. I'm a little cheeky. People don't like to see that. I rough people around with my size. But in my home in Australia, I don't think I could do that to the people. I love them too much. I love Australia. If they're cheering for me, I want them to cheer for me.
Well, that's what you're doing so well because you're getting the crowd reaction wherever you go. So that builds success, and obviously we've got what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. My moveset and how I move, how big I am, it's very devastating. So live, you hear the oohs and the ahs more than probably any other match. So that's what I'm known for, the king of the oohs and ahs.
How did you want to become a WWE superstar in the first place?
I've been a huge fan my whole life. So my family watched wrestling in WWE. So I grew up watching, Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And from a young age, I had it in my head that I want to be that. I want to be a WWE superstar. And I worked for a long time to achieve it, but I did it.
No, we're very, very, very proud of you. But being from South Australia, what other sports were you into before getting into the WWE?
I think like most Aussie kids, I played like Aussie rules as a kid for a good few seasons. Then in high school, I played rugby league because I started to fill out and get a little bit bigger. But I always had in the back of my head, as soon as I could, I wanted to become a professional wrestler. And as soon as I finished high school, I was 18 years old. I went to a little gym in Adelaide City and learned how to wrestle.
Well, again, you were an NXT product as many WWE superstars as well, and you were a champion there as well. But you must be happy that you repaid the faith that Triple H, showed in you when obviously you came back to the WWE.
Yeah, very happy. I've always had a good relationship with Triple H, and I think he sees in me that I can be something pretty globally recognized with what I do. So I'm happy that since my return, I've been on a pretty great trajectory, headed for that main event spot, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. You've already had Elimination Chamber experience
Yeah.
this year. So it's amazing that Elimination Chamber is coming to Perth at Optus Stadium. But tell me, how brutal is that match? Because obviously we've seen many Elimination Chambers, but it looks brutal. But tell us your experience about how brutal it actually is.
It's something that you have to see up close and live in person because the chains, everything, it's a huge, massive structure. Like nothing I'd never been in before. Like it's one of those matches that you only see in WWE. And you get thrown against the chains, you get thrown against the grate on the ground. Like it takes you out for a few days for sure. So I'm excited that hopefully, potentially, maybe I'll be part of the chamber match again this year. But I'm pushing and gunning for a shot against Seth Rollins. I want a shot
Yeah,
again for that
Seth
World
freaking
Heavyweight
Rollins.
Championship. Yeah, I
Yeah,
want to be the first male Australian to fight for the World Heavyweight Championship.
that's amazing. So again, we'll see how successful Rhea Ripley has done. So we're hoping that
Yes.
you can do the same thing. You stole my next question because again, it was like, did you want to become, compete in your second elimination chamber match, or did you have another match in mind? But that's obviously your target, and
Yeah,
that's an interesting one as well because obviously Seth is a fan favorite, but he's going to
he
be on your
is.
turf, so that's going to be a very interesting, sort of reaction with the home crowd. So I think the home crowd is going to be in your favor, brother.
Yeah, I said like I hope if I don't do the Elimination Chamber, it's Seth Rollins. If not, maybe I'll take some gold off of Gunther as well. Maybe that Intercontinental Championship. But either way, I want to be a part of a big time match there in Perth.
Yeah, you have to be part of it. So, again, your Elimination Chamber is a very unique match. But is there any type of match that you haven't actually wrestled in yet that you want to be a part of? Something that you haven't done yet?
Yeah, I think there's only one that I have to tick off the list. Pretty much I've done your ladder matches, I've done cage matches, Elimination Chamber. The only one is the Hell in a Cell. So hopefully at some point you'll see Bronson Reed in a Hell in a Cell.
Well,
And
that's even more brutal.
I was going to say, it might not, it sounds like a cool thing to tick off the box, but I'm sure afterwards I'll be regretting it.
No, I don't think you will. I mean, again, but it's one of the highlights. So you face some big WWE superstars already. But do you have a most memorable moment so far for you? Because again, you've still got a long way to go. But do you have a memorable moment that you look back already and say, "Damn, that was good"?
Yeah, I think definitely the Elimination Chamber this year was something pretty surreal. We're in Montreal, Canada. That crowd was electric. Being a part of being in that sort of match is something you never forget. Apart from that, my time in NXT, I did become the North American champion.
Exactly.
So probably that one sticks out in my mind.
No, it's great to have you back as well. So you've already mentioned the past WWE superstars that you've liked, but is there WWE superstars or divas today that you really pay attention to that you really admire?
Yeah, I'm still a fan of the business. I always will be, whether I'm in it or not. Someone that I look up to and I watch very much all the time is Roman Reigns. He is someone that I think, he's the golden goose. He is WWE at the moment, so I'm always paying attention to what he does. And the other one is Rhea Ripley. I think she's so inspiring, especially not only for Australians, but also for Australian girls watching back home. Like she can beat up anyone, any of the guys, any of the girls. I believe it, and she's an amazing talent.
Well, we saw that at Payback. I mean, she's willing to do anything. But the only thing that
Yeah,
you and I have a bone to pick with her is that she was wearing, we saw her on social media last week wearing a Carlton jersey. I mean,
yeah,
what's up with
yeah.
that? I thought she'd be a
That's
Crows or Port supporter.
She is. She's a Crows fan, so I'm a Port fan myself. So I
Yeah.
already
Well,
disagree
sorry
with
about
her on
that.
things. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was up at 5 a.m. to watch them versus GWS, and I was not happy. So,
No,
a bad ending. But hey, she shouldn't have been in that Carlton Guernsey. Come on,
no.
pop it off.
What, whatever, go with that. Is there anyone else that you're close to in the locker room?
Usually I travel with some of the Australians, but I used to travel with Dominic Mysterio and Austin Theory. So we have a bit of there's three of us that are pretty bad guys on the road. So we're not too well liked when we show up to the shows. So that's my traveling companions, those two.
No, fantastic. So just back on the Elimination Chamber, from your perspective, what can Perth fans expect to see when the WWE comes to Perth for this massive event?
Yeah, they're going to expect to see nothing like they've seen before. Like I said, not only is it a huge live event for WWE, but you're going to see this massive structure of the Elimination Chamber up close and personal. Also in the huge Optus Stadium, like you said, I'm sure the atmosphere is going to be insane. And you're going to get to see local talent wrestle on WWE. So, you got people to support for straight away.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to see. But not only that, not only for Perth fans, you're going to get interstate, you're going to get
Yeah.
international travelers, and then the world is going to be on Perth at our beautiful Optus Stadium.
Yeah, I hope that everyone from around Australia, whether you're in Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania, South Australia, Northern Territory, Canberra, come to Perth, come to Western Australia, see Optus Stadium, see the WWE. And that's the same, like you said, for international people, the surrounding countries, New Zealand, come to Perth. It's going to be a wild event.
Well, in the build up to this, again, we're going to obviously, share the link and obviously the pre-sale because everyone's getting very
Yes.
excited and going to get involved. But how do we find Bronson Reed on social media?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Bronson is here. And you get to see me destroying all my opponents on both those social media platforms.
I'll tell you what, I cannot not wait. We're right behind you. I'm going to be right behind you as well. It is confirmed. WWE is coming to Perth. The WWE Elimination Chamber, Saturday, February 24 at the award-winning Optus Stadium. We're going to share the link for the pre-sale, so do not miss out on this. Cannot wait. Bronson Reed, very proud of what you're doing in WWE. We cannot wait to see you in Perth and obviously in the build-up to the big event. Thanks for your time. Keep striving, and again, thank you very much for your time with us today.
No, thanks for having me. And when I'm in Perth, I'll go have a coffee chill.
Can't wait to catch up with you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brett. Really